We still have more boys and girls lacrosse highlights now on our Week 4 of Friday Night Frenzy.
Yeah, Andrew Brill, he's a busy man tonight. We're going to send it over back to him at a different spot in the studio.
Wow.
Exactly. Yeah, Andrew's showing off everything that our studio has to offer. What's going on, Andrew?
Thanks, guys. I also checked in on boys and girls lacrosse earlier today with stops in Simsbury and Avon, respectively. We begin in Simsbury with a good physical battle between the Trojans, who have won 6 straight, and Southington Blue Knights, who are 6-3 this season. We're going to pick it up early second half. Southington's Matt Thompson working hard behind the net, taking the defender, flipping it toward the goal. That goes in and cuts Simsbury's lead to 2, and that deserves a celebration. We're going to go later in the third. Garrett Brown with a nice save, but he leaves it out in front. Jake Ober from his knees rolls it in. He had 4 goals on the day. Trojans up 9-4. Southington not going away quietly. Jack Tadone letting it fly through the goalie's legs and scoring, cutting into the Simsbury lead the fourth quarter. It was Colby Bailey Gates, the sophomore, beating the Southington goalie again. Upper left corner, Simsbury wins their 7th straight, beating Southington 13-7. On the girls' side, we head to Avon, where the South Windsor Bobcats were visiting the Falcons. Pick it up early first half after a penalty. Chloe Kapisic goes over Avon's goalie to make it 5-0. Moments later, Kapisic gives it up behind the net to Malia Haddock. She goes all the way, working herself, going around the defender, beating Hayes, Amy Hayes from Avon. Another penalty inside set up for Morgan Saylor. She appears to shoot, but pulls it back. The fake, 7-0 in favor of the Bobcats. Not long after, Saylor again working in front of the defender, but she's able to go to her right, shoot back left. Another Bobcats goal. It could have gotten worse for Avon when Kapisic goes to the net, but Hayes comes up big with the save. Saves another South Windsor goal off the board. That good feeling didn't last long, though. Leah Pendergast was able to score again for the Bobcats. It was 11-1 at the half. That score not yet posted. That'll do it for me tonight on Week 4 of Friday Night Frenzy. I'm Andrew Brill. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Andrew. How about the Yale men's lacrosse team playing Cornell in an Ivy League tournament semifinal tonight? The Bulldogs got out to an early lead in this one, already up 1-0, and they're looking to add more to their tally. Jackson Morrill getting the pass in front. That's a nasty shot for the score. Yale up top, 2-0. They're going to add to that lead a little bit later. Check out the effort from Matt Brandow. Keeping it himself, going down, but not before he's able to score for the Bulldogs. And Yale, they are moving on. They beat Cornell 15-10. They will play Penn on Sunday. On to other news of the day, and tonight, Game 3 of the Eastern Conference semifinals between the Celtics and the Bucks.
Yep, that series tied up, game apiece, and now games 3 and 4 to Boston. Kyrie Irving and the Celtics tried to take that 2-1 series lead at home tonight. They get a quick start with the lead as Irving buries the 3 at 29 to lead the Celtics, but Boston had no answer for the Bucks offense. First, Pat Connaughton nails the 3-pointer. He had 14 off the bench as the Bucks built on a lead in the fourth quarter. And then it's Giannis Antetokounmpo driving the baseline, the layup, the foul. He had 32 and 13 rebounds. The Bucks beat the Celtics 123-116. They take back the home court. They lead the series 2-1 Game 4 Monday in Boston.
How about the Red Sox continuing their series in the Windy City against the White Sox? Battle of the Sox. Boston jumping in front in the first. 2-man on. Rafael Devers. That one is gone. A 3-run blast makes it 3-0 Boston. Michael Chavis, he also dials up a long ball for the Sox in this one. Man on, taking that one out of the park down the left field line for the 2-run shot. That made it 5-0 Boston. And right now, the Red Sox currently on top in Chicago, 6-1 in the ninth.
The Yankees back home, starting this year against the Twins. They built an early lead, 2-on, 2-out. Luke Voigt pulls one to left field, an RBI single thrown out at second. The Yankees get the run, they lead 2-0. And they get a big game out of Gary Sanchez. Wow, talk about big. This one's gone. That's his first home run for Sanchez. His second of the game, another one. He's got 10 homers on the season, and he's been injured, don't forget. Yankees beat the Twins the final, 6-3.
How about the Mets? They've been struggling a little bit recently, starting up a series on the road tonight against the Brewers. Scoreless game early on. Mets on the board. Wilson Ramos, RBI single to right, 1-0 New York. But the Mets could not hold that lead. Lorenzo Cain turning on the Steven Matz pitch, and no doubt about that one, it is gone. The Brewers beat the Mets 3-1, and with that loss, now New York back to 500 on the year.
All right, that does it for the Week 4 edition of the Friday Night Spring Edition. Friday Night Frenzy right here on Channel 3. Thanks for tuning in tonight.
Yeah, and if you missed any of tonight's show or any of the shows from the entire FNF season so far, just download our Channel 3 sports app. You're going to be able to see all the highlights from this entire season.
We want to thank our producer, Mark Fidzikowski, our director, Jason Bowman, intern Peter, the rest of our crew, for Elliot Polikoff, and for Andrew Brill. I'm Joe Zone, and I'll see you out there.
Now, Elliot Polikov. Now, Elliot Polikov with Eyewitness Sports.
Happy Saturday morning. I'm Elliot Polikoff. The weather postponed a lot of games on Friday night, but we still had a lot of other games to get to. Baseball, softball, lacrosse on boys and girls side. Let's get to some of the action. We're going to start things off in baseball, where it was Amity and Foreign. The Spartans entered this matchup with just 2 losses. They'd already beat Foreign earlier this year. Won 1 game in the 5th. Huge strikeout by Jason Giambra to get out of a bases-loaded jam for the Lions. Fast forward to the 6th. Foreign playing a little small ball, and they do it to perfection. Rich Carino avoiding the tag, and there are runners on first and second for Foreign. A couple batters later, bases loaded for the Lions. That's going to bring a runner home. A bases-loaded walk. Not the sexiest of highlights, but it'll do. 2-1 Foreign taking the lead. John Lempinski bouncing back, though, getting the strikeout to get out of the inning without any further damage. 2-1 Foreign. Bottom of the 7th, Mark Chodo signaling to center to put runners on first and second for Amity. The Spartans threatening, but in the end, the fly ball to right, it's deep. It's not deep enough, though. Giambra gets the fly ball to finish things off, and the Lions making a statement on the road. They win it 2-1. All right, to Xavier High School in Middletown. Xavier coach Stephanie Ray encouraging her players in a home match against Shelton on the volleyball court. Xavier, Ethan Powers. That is just a huge kill shot, about impossible to handle. Point Xavier. Serving for Xavier is Tom Cullen. And on the Shelton side, David Niski. Big time forceful return for the Shelton point. Middletown with a response, though. It's Powers. Just overwhelming. And there's some fired up Shelton players right there. Middletown has all kinds of players that can do a lot of damage. Just too tough right there for Shelton and the Xavier players celebrating. You want to see a tough serve, though, check this out. Niski, look at that top spin. Hits the back line, and it is good. Shelton ends up winning the match 3-1. All right, Military Appreciation Night out in Windsor on the softball field. Windsor Warriors wearing custom solid green jerseys, while they also provided some camo jerseys for the visiting Griswold team. First inning, Griswold Cheyenne Zingilis taking the pitch from Tori McGraw, and that one goes to left. That drives home Caitlin Davis with the first run of the game for the Wolverines. More trouble for McGraw in the second with the bases loaded, but she gets the strikeout to keep it a 1-0 game. Another bases loaded jam, this time in the 3rd, and she walks Kaylin Waldron to force in a run. That makes it 2-0, Griswold on top. 2 outs now, bases still loaded. Samantha Falco slapping one to the shortstop to throw to first. Just a little bit high, and 2 more Wolverine runs come across to score. 4-0 Griswold. Next up, Caitlin Davis, and she gets a hold of that one, sending it all the way to the right field fence. 2 more runs come in to score for Griswold. Davis ends up at 3rd. Windsor scores 4, but Griswold, they end up winning it 11-4. All right, heading out to Simsbury. Good physical battle on the lacrosse field between the Trojans, who have won 6 straight, and the Southington Blue Knights, who are 6-3 this year. Early second half, Southington's Matt Thompson working hard behind the net, and then flips it towards the goal. That one cuts it. The Southington lead to 2, and they're celebrating. Later in the 3rd, Garrett Brown, nice save, but he leaves it out front. Jake Ober from his knees rolling it on in. He had 4 goals on the day. Trojans up 9-4. Southington not going away quietly, though. Jack Tadone letting it fly through the goalie's legs and scoring, cutting into that Simsbury lead. In the 4th quarter, it was Colby Bailey Gates getting in on the action. The sophomore beating the Southington goalie again, going upper left corner. Simsbury wins their 7th straight, beating Southington 13-7. All right, how about some girls lacrosse? Heading out to West Hartford. Teams getting ready on the sidelines. Hall and Farmington in a CCC matchup. Hall showing off the offense in the early going. That's Chloe Nordyke weaving her way through traffic and firing off the nasty shot for the score. Hall out front early, and they just keep adding to their lead. Off the free play, Avery Polk, tough shot. The goalie can't stop. Hall just increasing that lead more and more. But Farmington, they kept on fighting all night long on the road. Liz Neary doing it herself off the free play, and she gets the score. Tight game in West Hartford, but in the end, it was Hall who picked up the win at home over Farmington, 11-9. And we have the Hartford Athletics home opener at Rentschler Field tonight. We're going to have coverage coming up later tonight on Channel 3 Eyewitness News. That'll do it for me for right now. I'm Elliot Polikoff.
We still have more boys and girls lacrosse highlights now on our Week 4 of Friday Night Frenzy.
Yeah, Andrew Brill, he's a busy man tonight. We're going to send it over back to him at a different spot in the studio.
Wow.
Exactly, yeah. Andrew's showing off everything that our studio has to offer. What's going on, Andrew?
Thanks, guys. I also checked in on boys and girls lacrosse earlier today with stops in Simsbury and Avon, respectively. We begin in Simsbury with a good physical battle between the Trojans, who have won 6 straight, and Southington Blue Knights, who are 6-3 this season. We're going to pick it up early second half. Southington's Matt Thompson working hard behind the net, taking the defender, flipping it toward the goal. That goes in and cuts Simsbury's lead to 2, and that deserves a celebration. We're going to go later in the third. Garrett Brown with a nice save, but he leaves it out in front. Jake Ober from his knees rolls it in. He had 4 goals on the day. Trojans up 9-4. Southington not going away quietly. Jack Tadone letting it fly through the goalie's legs and scoring, cutting into the Simsbury lead the fourth quarter. It was Colby Bailey Gates, the sophomore, beating the Southington goalie again. Upper left corner, Simsbury wins their 7th straight, beating Southington 13-7.